Welcome to FX Options University, recorded live at the International Securities Exchange, the world's largest equity options exchange. Join the industry's top trading professionals as they provide insight and strategies for trading in the currency markets using FX options. FX options are a low-risk alternative to hedging currency moves in any market condition.
Typically when we do this, we're more along the lines of using this with a spread, just because of the fact that this is in the conservative section of the portfolio, and we typically kind of tend to lean more towards doing a credit spread. So that way, the benefit of the credit spread, if you have it set up in that way to where you have a good chunk of the money in cash or in a money market or whatever the case may be, or maybe something else that you deem is fairly safe, and we could probably do another webinar just on that, but when you have the hedge in place, it enables you to stay in the trade longer. And you can lose 100% if 100% is a very small portion of your money. So I'm fine taking 100% loss if the 100% is less than 1% of the overall piece of the puzzle.
So it's back to a longer-term approach and a portfolio approach, correct?
Absolutely.
And also, Mike, how do you prevent that you have all these assets moving in the same direction at the same time? Do you try to make them so that they're not necessarily correlated? So you have, hopefully you have some winners and losers and they're all offsetting to some degree?
Absolutely. It's one to where, if you're one thing that, I've said in the past, if we have large cap, mid cap, and small cap stocks, there's going to be some that outperform the others, but in reality, most of the time, they're going to move in the same way. So from the way with which we view it, the real diversification is that have some exposure to the stocks, have some exposure to gold, silver, various currencies, perhaps, although we don't have any of it right now, maybe in time, if it starts to make sense, maybe even, gosh, I have a hard time even saying it, real estate. And, with that, you can have assets that aren't necessarily correlated as much, so that way you have real diversification.
Makes a lot of sense. Makes a lot of sense. Just want to remind everyone that Mike will be with us for just another couple minutes. So if you have any questions, please type them in the chat box, and he will definitely answer your questions. So Mike, is there ever a time that you think that it's not a good time to be hedging?
Yes and no. I think that like hedging is our business at Know Your Options, what it boils down to. I mean, we do some short-term trading, but just as the time goes by, hedging is becoming more and more important every day from what we're learning, what our clients need, what they want, and that type of thing. But we always tell people it doesn't make sense to hedge 100% of your portfolio. It goes back to the portfolio approach, as you had mentioned, is that some clients will hedge maybe 50 to 60% of their portfolio. Others will hedge maybe 70 to 80% of their portfolio. And, with it, I think there's always a place to have some type of a hedged asset in one way, shape, or form, no matter what your situation. I guess maybe if you're fresh out of college and you're just putting money into your 401k, $100 a month every month, I guess I wouldn't hedge that. But if you have a sizable portfolio, I think that there needs to be some level of protection to it, just because of the fact that, I know the U.S. stock market's done well through the years. I know that there's a lot of great investments out there, but anyone can be wrong at some point.
That's a good point. That's a good point. Mike, why don't you take the next minute or two for any closing comments you might have, and we'll wrap it up.
All right. With that, I'm just looking at the chat here. We're getting political on this one. Wow. With that, just a couple of closing comments that I want to have. Risk management is the key. You see a lot of webinars that talk about, we found the Holy Grail, we've done this, we've done that. Folks, it's not about how much money you can make. It's about staying in the game and living to trade another day. Every successful trader that I've ever met has that type of a mentality in terms of just managing risk. Now, technical analysis is great, fundamental analysis is great, but I don't care what you do, you need to have risk management. What we try and do is take the risk management approach to the long-term investment side of the portfolio. And if once again, if you have any questions on our services or anything that we do, send me an email, MikeT@KnowYourOptionsInc.com. Go to our website, KnowYourOptionsInc.com/free, or give us a call. We'll be available shortly after this webinar at 866-903-1822. And with this, Steve, it's always a pleasure coming and doing a webinar for the ICE. You guys just do so much for the individual retail trader with how you guys bend over backwards for trying to help and provide education. And the fact that it's free, I'm just not able to say enough good things about what you guys do, and I'm very honored to be a part of this.
Well, Mike, I want to thank you for all the effort that you put into this, because I know it takes a lot of time to come up with an overall idea on what you want to teach. I know you know so many things, so it's what do I teach, and then, of course, building the slides, and then spending another hour and a half with us delivering it. So I want to thank you for all the presentations you've done here in 2010, because this will be your last. We're winding down 2010. On the behalf of the ISE, Mike, I want to say thank you very, very much for everything you've done for us in 2010.
Thank you.
And 2011 will be right around the corner, and we'll have you back talking more about options. And you could, again, Mike knows his options. His firm is Know Your Options. Please join us again when Mike comes back. Thanks again, Mike.
Thank you.
Just want to remind everyone before we wrap it up that we have just a few more webinars. I think we have 3 more. I have 2 listed here. Dan Passarelli will be with us next week, navigating the sea of volatility with FX options. And then on December 7th, the U.S. dollar forecast, what's driving the global markets. Jack Crooks will be with us. So please sign up for those events. You'll learn a little bit more about options, learn a little bit more about the currency markets. And all you need to do to trade this product is, of course, have an idea. Hopefully it's a good idea. Have an account that's an options-enabled account, and then you're good to go. So I want to thank all of you for attending. Hope you all come back next week when Dan Passarelli will be with us, navigating the sea of volatility with FX options. This presentation will be available by archive as the other 200 or so that are all there. You can catch any of those and this one tomorrow. The previous ones, of course, you can catch even this evening. On behalf of the ISE, this is Steve Meisinger wishing you a safe and happy trading day tomorrow. Night all.
Thank you for participating in this week's session. Please join us again next week. Get trading ideas, exchange rates, webinars, news, and commentary. Visit www.fxoptions.com. ISE FX Options can be easily traded through all options-enabled brokerage accounts. These exchange-listed securities are cash-settled in U.S. dollars and have a European-style exercise.